All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our Thursday night call. And we are combining actually the PLR show with the platform training for this evening. And I have a number of things that I'm going to share. But as always, this is a lot more dynamic if we start with your questions. So first of all, good evening. And we haven't been training this week, mainly, and that's partially some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, some of the things that I was able to learn by going off-road or offline with the online business that we are all doing. So I think you'll find some of the things that we found out interesting, and that you will be able to take them and use them in your own business if you choose to. And it's a viable market. It's specific, what I will say, and you may find this something that you're able to do, at least that you're able to test. And we're going to be testing it for 8 more times during the month of February. So that said, good evening to you. And if you have any questions, just type them right there in the box. And I will then take your questions, and we'll then, after that, we'll get started. We'll get into a few things. So let me kind of do this. So what I want to do tonight is start with your questions. Okay, so while I'm doing this, while I'm going over this, what we're going to do tonight, just feel free to type in whatever questions you might have, either about using PLR or about using Genius software or about making money online in general. If there's something that you have run into, you hit a roadblock and you're trying to move forward and there's something in your way, then certainly put your question in there and we're going to see what we can do to get you moving forward. So we're going to start with your questions. I want to tell you about what I learned about going offline with my online business this last week. I actually taught 2 classes, personal enrichment classes, and I'm going to tell you about the results and tell you about how I actually got the class. It's something that anybody can do, and the results of actually teaching that class. I'm going to tell you what you can do better than I did. So if you ever choose, you get in front of somebody to do a personal enrichment class, you get a speaking engagement. And trust me, one of the things I want to share with you is that when you become known as the person who knows what you know, you can be asked to speak at any time, right? And one of the things that I really would encourage you to do is to be the person in your circle, locally and offline, as the person who knows what you know. Trust me, people, when you start talking about the things, how many of you all have had the experience that maybe somebody starts talking about, like I did, publishing a book, and you start talking about what you know, or somebody starts talking about a blog, or somebody starts talking about how they can make more money on the internet, and you know these things, and you open your mouth, and people start to feel like, well, you must be some kind of genius. And so if you've ever had that experience, just put a 1 in the question box. I know a lot of you have had that because people don't know what you know. And so you can actually get out there. So I'm going to tell you about what I can do, what you can do better than I did in teaching these classes. I'm going to tell you about what you can do with PLR in particular. Right, Helen, I'm sure you've had that. I mean, a number of you have had that experience where you don't know what you know until you start opening up your mouth and you start talking to people. Right, and when you start doing that, then you start really realizing the value of what it is that you know, the value of all these webinars you've been doing, all the studying you've been doing. It has value. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about what you can do with Genius software, in particular when you're doing what I did. And there's a specific application that I'm going to be telling you about specifically when we start talking about going offline with what it is that you have. And then you probably want to know, right? And this is just kind of a myth. I know that people know that if you go to a business, they're interested in making more money. So the question is, are people really interested in what we call internet marketing? Are people interested in making money online? And can you find those people offline? And so that's part of what I'm doing in these 8 classes over the month of February, is finding out exactly, so that there are no myths about this. right? So there is no speculation. You and I will know for certain because we will have actually tested something, okay? And then finally, I want to talk about what can and should you sell should you choose to go offline. Okay, so are there any questions? Let's see, Andy has a question. Andy has a question, and his question is, what are the best ways to market online courses on the internet? Okay, great question. Now, if you start talking about an online course, right, an online course, a lot of that really depends on whether or not you're starting out without an email marketing list. So if I were going to start out without an email marketing list, and let's take my wife as an example. My wife did not have an email marketing list of her own. Right now, recently she did the PLR course, but she's still not necessarily, she doesn't consider herself to be an internet marketer. So she put together a fantastic package of content for extreme couponing, but that's kind of where her mind is. She knows how to do organization. She could teach those courses, but she doesn't consider herself to be the online marketer. She considers me to be that. So what then does that mean for her to market her knowledge, right? An online course online. So where are some good places? Well, first of all, if I had no experience, right? And I would say that by and large, her experience is not in internet marketing. Her experience is doing a lot of other things, even though she knows a lot of what I know. She sold courses on a site called udemy.com. Andy, if you've heard that site, I don't know if you've heard of that site before. I know a number of people on this call have heard of that site. If you've heard of the site udemy.com, please put the number 2 in the question box. That is certainly one place for you to market your courses online. Let's say if you don't have a mailing list of any kind. Now, if you do have a mailing list, then you are then going to be able, obviously then, to market your courses to your email marketing list. So now the question then becomes, then how do you get an email marketing list? Well, then what you got to do is you got to be able to get people's email address, and they're going to exchange their email for something that they value, right? And I don't like to use the term something of value. I don't like to use the term give them something free. I like to use a specific phrase when I talk about this. People will give you their email address for something they value. So what you have to do in order to get people, right, to give you their email list is you have to give them something they value. So how do you deliver that to them, and how do you find that? Well, there are 2 ways to find that. Well, let's talking specifically about where those people are, right? Let's talk about where those people are. Well, they are on social media, right? They are in online forums. They are on the internet searching for things, and they're on YouTube searching for answers, right? Those are the kind of the core places, right? Now you can catch those people by finding things that they're interested in reading about, or you can advertise to them, right? So you can either draw them in based on what you have for them and based on informing them and educating them, or you can advertise to them using paid ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, all those things in terms of paid advertising to get them on to your email marketing list. It is going to be rare you're going to be able to send somebody straight to your sales page, right? So what you have to do, in my opinion, is to get people on to your email marketing list. Now, let's talk one more thing, and I want to move on. If you, let's say that you are working, and Andy, tell me, are you working inside of the make money online niche? That's an important question. So before I go with what I'm going to tell you next, I want to know if you consider your niche or your broad market to be the make money online niche. So far now, but while Andy answers that, does everybody sort of understand what I just talked about, right? In terms of marketing a course online. I'm talking specifically about information online. Does everybody understand what I said? If you understand kind of my explanation, put the number 3 in the question box if you would. And Andy, if you can just let me know if you consider yourself to be in the make money online niche, right? Okay. Okay, so now Andy says, my problem is that Udemy takes the majority of the cost of the course and leaves you with a small net. That's right. So but you have something that a lot of people don't have. Here's what you have right now. So you have, number one, Andy, you have a captive audience in that Udemy course. You have an audience of people that at least is marginally interested in one particular subject. So one of the things that I would suggest you do with what you already have is to invite those people on the Udemy course into something, to give them something they value in exchange for their email list, so that you can market products and services to them that are not on Udemy, right? Udemy is, for all intents and purposes, right? And I know a lot of people who probably in the early days, and probably even still now, you can make money with Udemy, right? You've got to kind of focus on that business model, but there are people who make money on Udemy, and the tendency is, right? The tendency is to have a lot of courses and to do a lot of the marketing, right? And that there's no problem with that as long as you understand that going in. But basically, when Udemy takes the cost of the course, here's how you need to look at that: is you need to consider that to be the cost that you're paying for a lead, if you can get them off of Udemy and into your internet marketing list. So your job with that Udemy course is to get them to give you their email address off of Udemy, and to continue to give them things in the category that they've chosen, to email them and then offer them something that's not on Udemy, right? So you have an audience already. They've already raised their hand. They bought your course. They've already declared what they're interested in. So now your job is get them into something else. Get them off of that Udemy course. Get them into something else they're interested in. And then you can then offer them something where you don't share with Udemy, right? Because not only does Udemy have to pay, Udemy has to pay the affiliates, right? I'm an affiliate for Udemy, right? So if, let's say that I sent a visitor to Udemy and then they bought your course, well, before we even get started, Udemy's got to pay me 50% of the cost of that course as the affiliate. So yes, Udemy is going to leave you a small net unless you drive the traffic to your course, right? So I don't know if that helps. If that makes sense to you, Andy, or everybody else, puts the number 4, what I just explained: marketing an online course online. Okay, and are there any other questions? Awesome. Okay, so let's get into a little bit right now. I want to kind of get into this. And again, as you have questions about anything, right? Thursday night is pretty much open mic. So if you have a question, and even if it's not related to what I'm getting into, this is really your call to ask questions about internet marketing and about what we can do to help you to move forward. So I'm gonna dive into this, but as you have questions, feel free to ask them. Okay, so what were my results? Okay, so far I've taught 2 of the 8 classes, right? And there was actually one class I taught it in 2 cities. Now Central Pennsylvania is very small, right? Central Pennsylvania is very small. So when I say 2 cities, we're probably talking about, cities that are within 5 or 10 miles of each other, right? Okay, so I've taught 2 8 classes, 1 class in 2 cities. And so the results were that now that those 2 classes are done, I have a, I don't know if I can show it to you here. I have a mailing list. I have a mailing list of about 40 people, right? And so that's kind of not the way I wanted a mailing list, but it is, right? That's just what I have. And so there's that. What did I teach? I taught things. Now, the name of the course was, I titled the course how to, I think I titled the course, and I didn't do a great job with the title or the description. That's one thing I need to just kind of let you know, that they asked me to write a title and description. They took it just like I wrote it. And okay, so yeah, taught things from the entrepreneur mandate. And then I had to break down the technical aspects. And lastly, I did not sell after the session. Let's see, I don't even have my slide presentation up there. Right, so those are the 8 things. So sorry about that, didn't have my slide presentation up there. Okay, okay, when I revise the screencasting course, will the current, or yeah, if you have the Screencast University, you'll get everything. So you know, the only when I update that course, I'm actually updating it now. Everybody who's got it now is going to get everything. So I don't at least I haven't yet. I have not to date gone back and asked people who've already bought something to rebuy it at another price. So that just has not been what I've done. So yeah, so everybody will, who has it now, Dana, will get everything that's in it now and in the future. Okay. All right, so Ty is asking, clarify how to create a paid funnel in GMP that leads to a survey, which exits to the WFP anytime link. Okay. All right, let's see. Now it's not gonna necessarily be direct, but let's dive in. I'm gonna now, some of this I'm gonna kind of be making up as I go. So let's figure out how we would do this. I appreciate that, Ty. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna log into Genius Marketing Pro here. I'm gonna size this up, and then I'm gonna log in here. Okay, now I'm gonna have to size it down now. Okay, so what we want to do here is now when you have a paid funnel, right? The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to a funnel and we're going to create a new funnel. And let's say that the first funnel we're going to create is, we're going to call it offline fortunes for your online business. And we're going to put a little description in here, information product with front end, back end. We're going to make sure this is active. We're going to create the funnel. Okay, so now we have some empty spots in our funnel. So what we need to do is we obviously need to have some products here. And so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add a product. Excuse me. And we're gonna call this Offline Fortunes for your online business. Information product for online business owners. Okay, so I'm going to deliver that course by giving people a thank you page. Now remember, I can create this thank you page inside of Genius Marketing Pro. I can create this thank you page or this download link any place I like, or I can choose to give people a PDF, right? So whatever I choose to do in terms of delivering the product for the course, I can do it however I want to, right? So in this particular case, let's say that what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver a PDF. So what I'm going to do, I don't even know if I don't know where I have a PDF lying around, but okay. So hopefully I'll have one just lying around here. Okay. See if I can find a PDF lying around here. Do I have one? Okay. Well, we can. I think we can just use. I think we just use a PowerPoint. Okay, that's a PNG file, so that's going to be the PDF. We'll pretend that's a PDF. So that's how they're going to get the product. They're going to get the product delivered to them. Now, remember now the sales page. The sales page can be one that I create, or it can be one that I've already created in GMP, right? So I can create the sales page any place I like. So in this particular case, I can go inside of GMP and create a new page. And then, so I can create a video sales page here that I'm going to use to sell my new product, right? And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a video here. And I'm going to get a video. Let's say that I uploaded, say I did a sales video. I'm going to pretend this is one. Go inside my Creator Studio. I'm going to make sure my video is unlisted. We're going to stop that there. Pick up that link. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag this. I'm going to put my YouTube URL in here, and this is going to be my sales video. Right, I'm going to make that video autoplay and click save. Right, now it's always going to appear like that, but it's not going to appear when you actually render the page. Okay, so I'm going to write in my I'm going to write in a headline here. And we're going to take this out. And I'm going to change this button. I'm going to say buy now. Okay, so right now I don't have a button URL. Now I could, there are a number of ways I can do this. I mean, I could send people directly to my sales page, but now remember, here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm actually going to be creating this inside of a funnel. So because of that, I'm going to have to come back and get my link from GMP from the funnel. Right? I'm going to have to come back and get that button. So I can't fill that in right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click save. Right? And then I'm going to click save offline fortunes FE, front end product. Did I spell fortunes right? Fortunes. I'm going to click save. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my pages. Okay, so here's my front end page there. It's actually in here now. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to grab this page. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that saved. I'm going to leave this saved. Now I'm going to go back to my funnel. I'm going to pick up this funnel. And I'm going to go to my first empty spot. I'm going to select my page. Let's see, where'd my page go? I'm gonna have to refresh this. Okay, here's my Offline Fortunes front end page. I'm gonna click save. Once my page is saved, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to set up that page. I'm going to say I'm going to deliver it by Genius Marketing Pro. I'm going to select the product. I'm going to set my price. I'm going to click save. Then I'm going to grab my link here. Now here's my link. Now remember, I'm going to now grab that link. I'm going to copy that link to the clipboard. I'm going to click copy, okay, and now I got to go back to my page, and I got to put this on my page, remember. So now what I got to do is I need to edit this page, and I need to put that buy now button in here. And click save, and save again. Okay, so I'm going to click save. Okay, so now I've got the first paid part of my funnel, right? So now when the person buys this product, I now want to send them to a survey, right? I want to send them to a survey, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my survey, right? Now I can do it either way. Now, as everybody understands what happens, what the practice is, the person buys, and then they're going to go to this page or this spot. And if they buy, they go to that spot. If they don't buy, they go to this spot. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand how that funnel works? If you understand what I just described, please put the number 5 in the question box. If you understand what I just explained about the funnel, yeah, put the 5 in there. Great, Helen. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so Ty, are you with me? Okay, so it's because we're working on answering your question. Ty, let me know. Okay, but in this case, the buy link goes to a PDF, but not to a WFP anytime webinar. Okay, so in that particular case, you still need to deliver the product, right? So let's say that what you want to do then is you want to deliver them to a thank you page, right? Or you want to deliver them to something. So I'm going to go back then. And all I'm going to do then is I'm going to go back to the product. I'm going to edit this product. Okay, and so instead of sending them to this file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my webinar link in here. Yeah, so it's here that you deliver them to the webinar, right? The anytime link. Okay, is everybody clear on that? Ty and everybody else, are you clear? If you are, put the number 6 in the question box. Great. Okay, so now, here's what I would do, Ty. Okay, so I would, unless there is a compelling reason to send people from the buying process to the, I would send them to the survey inside of the webinar, right? So in other words, I would set up an offer link. Okay, let's take a look at this. So let's go on. Here's where I would do the survey, quite honestly, if I were going to do this. So they're on your webinar, right? And so I'm going to create this webinar, right? And so I'm going to offline fortunes for online business. I'm going to size this up so you all can see it. Offline fortunes for online business. Save this. Okay, so what I do is I set up my offer, and I add my offer, and then I put in here. I do either one or two things. I would say, please take our survey, right? And then I put a little description in here. Tell me what you do offline. I'd put an image in there to entice them to the survey. I'd write in here how we can help you. And here is where I would put the beginning of the survey, which is the survey I would create inside of GMP. I'm not even sure I would put this in the funnel, because if your buyers are going to end up here, right? Okay, great. Yeah, you can just put your survey in the offer button. Awesome. Very good. Okay, so Jerry has a question, and he wants to know, how do you find out where the self-help niche is? That's a great question. Okay, so let's be a little more specific, Jerry. So when you say the self-help niche, let's start with what people are getting help with, right? Because you know, I don't know if you ever heard of Eben Pagan. Eben Pagan is in the self-help niche, and he is what's called a PUA guy, right? Pickup artist, and he helps guys who are a lot younger than you and I, Jerry, to get dates, right? So that's a self-help product. Guys who are too afraid to talk to girls or women, then he helps them, right? Now, that's a vastly different self-help product than someone who is having trouble with their kids. And so the self-help niche is really, I would say, more of a general description of something that you are getting into specifically. And so what I would do is I would identify who's having the pain, right? So whose pain are you solving? Number one, with the self-help product. And number two, what is their pain? Yeah, Eben Pagan is a beast as in the dating niche, right? That last count, yeah, it might be 30 million now. And all he does is he helps, he helps guys figure out how to talk to girls. I mean, not bad. I mean, I guess guys need help. So Jerry, what more specifically would you say, who has the pain that you want to help solve? That would be the question that you want to start with, because that's going to be the niche. So the health help niche is descriptive, right? So it's not a niche per se, only in that it describes what's happening. What you want to define your niche by who has the pain and how you're solving the pain. So for example, self-help for guys could be any number of things, right? But one aspect of helping guys is dating. Another way of helping guys could be, midlife crisis, that kind of thing. Right? So how would you describe the pain that you're trying to solve? That would be my question to you. All right, great question. All right, any other questions? We're hovering around, right around 43 minutes right now. Now I got here late. That's really more like 38. So I got here 5 minutes late. So we're at about 38 minutes. So any other questions? Okay, the link that I created for launching products. Yes. Where'd I put that? Gee, Helen, I forgot where I put it. Let me see. The launch checklist. Here we go. All right. That is your launch checklist. In case you guys missed, I can't even, I think I did that session on the 28th. Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Wow, that's a great question. Okay, so Ty is asking, how can we support each other in our launches? And this is interesting because I've been thinking about this a lot. And what one of the things that, we've been talking about as a group, I've been thinking about individually is, how to put together launch groups. And here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. What I'd like to do on the PLR show Facebook page, right, is to start talking about joint ventures and putting together some way of being able to get people who want to do joint ventures, who would be interested in working with a partner if that partner had your missing piece. So here's my question to you, those of you who are on the call. And I know some of you all are watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, what I'd like for you to do is for you to send me an email to the answer to this question if it is yes, right? So the question is, how many of you would be interested in teaming up with other internet marketers who are on this call if you knew they might have your missing piece? So if you could have a conversation, whether it was online or otherwise, and you found out that somebody on this call could have your missing piece, how many of you would be interested in joint venturing or having conversations with other marketers about joint ventures to find out what they're into so you can tell them? So if that's you, if that is what you're interested in, please put the number 1 in the question box, because I'd like to try to start thinking about how we might organize this and to put something together. Okay, so there definitely is an interest in, okay, all right, very good. Now, one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do, and I know this is not going to be for everybody, Now, if any of you are going to be near Florida, the March 17th through the 20th, I would encourage you to go to the JV Zoo conference. Again, you know, it is work to meet people and network, but that is a great place to make it happen, right? And sometime soon, I do want to talk about the events that are going on this year. I don't know how many of you all are going to Trafficking Conversions, or how many of you all are going to Russell Brunson's. Eugene says that Evan Pagan isn't even that good looking. Well, yeah, he may not be. Yeah. He might look a little better. You know, 30 million might make you look a little better. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to be getting into visual voice tonight, because what I'm hoping to do is with the visual voice thing is I think in terms of being live in front of people, I think I've got it right, but I'm comfortable doing this webinar, and I'm comfortable talking to you as if you're like real people to me, right? So it's almost like I can see you through the computer screen. When I get in front of a live audience, I tend to revert back to my college teaching. So I tend to get into being more what do they call it, professorial, like a professor, because that's the way I learned how to speak. I mean, I learned how to speak. You know, I did some preaching, obviously, and I did some teaching as a college professor. And what happened was, when I get in front of people, I tend to get into that mode, right? And I don't mind. And so what I really hope to be able to do with the visual voice thing is to try to figure out how I can change my energy so that I can be the same person that I am here on this webinar in a live situation, right? I have no problem. I know my content. I can teach, but right here, the way we are right now, I have total comfort level, because I've been talking to a computer screen since 2004, right? So I've been doing this for over a decade, and so I have a true comfort level. So what I'm hoping to do with visual voice is I want to figure out how I'm talking so that my energy is not the same live as it is here. So that's what I'm really hoping to do. I haven't had a chance to crack it open yet, but that is my desire for that. Okay, let's see. And let me go back through the questions here. Can you offer this training format to organizations? Of course. Of course. And now what I'll say, Keon, is that it's wide open. It's wide open if you can figure out a subject matter that corporations want to bring you in for, right? So if you can, and if you're talking about that kind of formats, I mean, you can definitely bring any of the information that we have, right? That we use every single day. I don't know if you guys probably have never heard me talk about this gentleman, right? The guy who wrote this book. His name is, and you might not be able to see it very well, okay? But his name is David Bullock. Now I met this guy at StomperNet. Now again, trust me on this. I don't care what your political affiliation is, right? And David, to be quite honest, I don't even know what his political affiliation is, but he wrote this about the election and about how the current administration came to use social media. And he was the only one who wrote that at this time. So here's what happened with David. David was just like you and I. David was an internet marketer. Now, he wasn't struggling. He was pretty successful, but what he did is he kind of chronicled what happened, and he chronicled it talking about stuff that you and I knew and that you and I know, but see, corporations didn't know this stuff. And so when people saw this little bitty paperback book, let me tell you what happened with David. And I remember he sat down, he talked to a bunch of us, kind of one-on-one at StomperNet back in 2008. And what he said was that he said, man, I just leapfrogged all of the internet marketing stuff, and colleges started to have him come and talk to them. Right. So he started getting invitations from colleges. And then when the colleges came and started getting him, corporations started to come and talk to him. And all he was talking about was all this stuff that we talk about every day. So it's definitely, Keon, definitely possible. I've seen it happen. And David Bullock is an example of it. Right now, trust me, David Bullock's a smart dude. Now, there's no doubt about this. David Bullock is a smart dude, but it is not impossible to get in front of a totally different crowd than we're talking about. You and I are in front of right now, we're in front of the business opportunity crowd. David Bullock is being asked to speak, was asked by Dartmouth last I talked to him. Right? So this is just, it's all a matter of branding and kind of knowing what you know, and packaging it in the right place and being in the right place at the right time. That's what I would say. Okay, but that's a great question. Let me go to the next question here. And Eugene says Evan Pagan isn't even that good looking. He just knows how to make it happen. He does. And Evan Pagan is a guy that, once again, I would say he doesn't know any more than you do. But here's what he did. He has experience as an advertiser. So if you were to compare yourself to Evan Pagan, you probably couldn't. He spent years in direct response advertising, years. So when he came to internet marketing, right? When he came to internet marketing, he had years of direct response advertising experience. So don't look at Evan Pagan and feel like I should be where he should be, or you should be where he should be. Don't feel like that, because when he came to the dating niche, he brought with him experience advertising mortgages and doing direct response for years. So just to kind of keep that in context, make sure that don't put yourself up against him, because he did have that experience. And it's the other thing too, is that it exactly. It takes that 10,000 hours. He'd already put in that 10,000 hours when he came to this. So it's a challenge to all of us, that before we expect the ticker tape parade, we do have to put in that 10,000 hours someplace, right? And when you have that 10,000 hours in something, often, if you can find a connection between the 10,000 hours that you've already spent and a customer, that's where you should start in internet marketing. You don't have to start with Facebook, Twitter, and all that other stuff, right? All you really have to do is to find out the connection between your personal area of mastery and a customer. When you can figure that out, rather than trying to figure out how to do CPA marketing, I personally think that that's the fast track to profit, because you don't have to think about the content. You don't have to think about trying to be authoritative. You don't have to think about so if you're in a job right now, right, and you have a massive amount of experience, and you have massive amount of resources, and you've learned stuff that other people don't know, that could be the fast track to your internet marketing. If you are, let's say you're an office manager right now. Let's say you are a secretary, you're an office manager right now. Well, office managers come and go into corporate America every day. Teach other office managers how to be a better office manager if you got that experience, right? If you know how to survive, if you know how to survive in a union, right? And other people are just getting started in a union or in an apprenticeship, and you know how to train them, teach them, right? Don't just teach, business opportunity people, great. Okay, great market because they're always willing to buy stuff. But there are a whole lot of folks who need information. And if you got expertise and you aren't getting paid for it, then your boss is not going to pay you for your expertise. But somebody who needs that information will pay you for that expertise. And if you got it and you already got the information, you already got the expertise, you need to get paid for it. Right? If you already got the expertise, write a book, do an information product, slap it up on Udemy and get paid for it. Then you can come back and do, listen, business opportunity niche will be here. The make money online niche will be here. It'll be here for you. Trust me, we'll all be here doing the same thing we're doing, right? Selling stuff. But if you have expertise in something, right, just find that connection between what you have right now and your customer. There is a customer who wants to connect with something you have. Find that connection, and then you just do the stuff that internet marketers do. You write your Kindle books, do your Udemy classes, do your webinars, and then you can always come back. Once you have sold to them, then you can always come back to business opportunity niche. So don't feel like you don't have anything to offer. Most everybody on this call has something that they can do, something that you know that I don't know, right? I know that to be a fact. Look, I know, listen, one of the things I'm in the process of doing right now, let me tell you what I have that you probably don't have, right? I spent 13 years working at a boarding school for at-risk youth with 13 teenage boys, along with my wife. I can guarantee you that not too many people have that. I know stuff about working with teenage boys that you could never even approximate what I know from experience. Not because I'm great, but just because I experienced it. And so I'm going to monetize that. Mark my words, I am going to. And so you have to find some of those connections too, because those are the easy things that you can do in internet marketing. You have something right now that not too many people know, that you've already in time. I'm so glad you brought that up. 10,000 hours. Start by figuring out where you spent your 10,000 hours, right? That's just an exercise. And look, you might, and the internet marketing niche will be here tomorrow if you do that tonight. See if you can figure out what's your if there's a connection. Go to Amazon, go to Google. Is there a connection? Is there something that people are suffering with? Is there a pain people are having that's connected to something you already know and have experience in? And if there is, listen, you can learn to like getting paid. You don't have to love the subject matter, but you can learn to like getting paid. Okay, so all right, so any other questions? I know that was a bit of a rant, but it's about 9:59. Any other questions? Oh yeah, Helen, most of us do. Most of us take for granted the knowledge that we already have. Most of us do that. Okay, everybody. Well, it was good being with you, and hope that you can get going on something. I'm going to be going on a college visit tomorrow with my daughters, and I'm going to prepare myself for sticker shock, and then we will resume. I may do something Saturday, I may not, but if I don't do something Saturday, I'll definitely see you on Monday for the Fusion call. Those of you who are part of the Genius member, one of the Genius software team, and Bruce, the replays are on youtube.com/gain mindshare. Yeah, and this replay will be there also. And for those of you who are still picking up, I think it's I think there are a few packages of the bonus left, and you can pick that up at gainmindshare.net / oh, I don't even know what that is. Gee whiz, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Speak for customers. That's what it is. Yeah, Ty, how to cheapen the cost of college and graduate in 1 year. I already know. Listen, here's what I'll tell you about that. There's an organization that now those of you who know me know that I homeschooled my kids, right? And there's an organization, and the name of that organization is College Plus. Now, basically, College Plus has a monopoly on helping kids to figure out how they can lower the cost of college and graduate faster, right? They have a monopoly. There's nobody else doing that. And some of the audience that they serve is a particular audience. There's a lot of the audience that would be open to that, right? Is wide open. So what I would encourage you to do, Ty, is if that's a subject that you're interested in, right? I would really encourage you to look at, I think it's College Plus, and kind of look at how they're serving a particular audience, and there's an audience that is underserved, right? Vastly underserved. So that's a great topic. Okay, Eugene. Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I have I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that we are today, right? I just talked to our programmers today on that issue. I did get your email, and I will answer you today. Yeah, Jerry. So Jerry, the answer to your question is yes. They still have CLEP exams. Not too many people know about it. Not too many people take them, and the people who would benefit the most by taking them don't take them. So CLEP is something that, for those of you who maybe you do or do not know, CLEP is a way for a high school kid to test out of college and get college credits. Now, you know, everything is kind of individual to the college and to the kid. But if you're just trying to lower the cost of college, or you know, you have a kid that just needs to do, you need to kind of get them through, and you don't have $1 million, right? Because if you have 2 kids and you pay the going rate, you're probably going to be out about $250,000 to $500,000. So if you don't have $500,000 in your pocket over the next 4 years, you might want to look at some CLEPs. Oh man. So yeah. So once again, there are some of the bonuses left for the visual voice. That's at GameMindshare.net. Speak for customers. And I don't have a bonus page there yet, but I'm doing an interview with God, what's her name? She's a voice coach, and she's going to be talking about, you know, things you can do with your voice on video, right? Things you can do with your voice in your podcast, things you can do with your voice. And I want to kind of pick her brain about that. So what we want to do is to kind of talk about, I'm going to talk to her about, you know, things that you can be doing with your voice and how you can really get a handle on how to use it and use it authoritatively. Right. Yeah, we're coming with we're gonna definitely do. We are working on that as we speak. Ty, we are working on that as we speak, furiously. Right. And at this point, you know, it's really a matter of, I'm not really even sure how commercially viable it is, but it's just, at this point, we have that expertise, we had it, and so we're just gonna put it in line. Yep, I know. I understand, Dana. I understand. I've got, I have as of right now, I just with paid, I've got to learn paid advertising. I still haven't finished all the bestseller summit. So, you know, I'm up all night, you know, learning. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I really hope that we can put together, you know, some of these collaborations, because I think that when you guys start talking to each other, right, you're going to find out that a lot of you have some similarities. So let's start thinking about collaborations. And what I'm thinking about is trying to put together, if I can figure out how to do it on Facebook without it being a distraction, right, then I'm going to do it. Right. So that's the main thing. I want to try to think about how it can be helpful to you and not be another distraction on Facebook. Because we all know Facebook can be a distraction, and I don't want to keep you from building your business to be on Facebook. So if we can figure out how to make it helpful to you on Facebook, then we're going to kind of start that on a Facebook page. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. If that is about it for tonight, have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.